All right, we have Palm Beach, Florida Zone joining me here on the show here tonight for Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, like 365, iHeartRadio, goes by the name of Dope Truth. He represents Orlando as well, as I'm repping for him with the Magic hat tonight. But Dope Truth joins me here on the show. Congratulations on everything you've achieved on the independent grind, all the artists that you've written for, all the major accomplishments, no investor. We have so much to talk about here tonight, man. But welcome to the show. How's
Appreciate
everything
you.
feeling? How you enjoying your Wednesday here?
I'm good today, man. I'm chilling. I'm in my home studio, just relaxing. Regular day right now. How about you? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I appreciate you being able to be on the show here tonight. Shout out to Al Nice for connecting us. And I know you guys have just me doing my research online about you guys. You've had a friendship for a while now,
Yeah, Nice is definitely my guy. Yeah, we're definitely like brothers at this point.
especially with the Empire connection. Let's take all of the things all the way back to because your influences span from 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, those guys right there. But I
Right.
want to get into the time when you were a DJ in your high school for a few years.
Yeah, you took it way back. That's a fact. Definitely. Definitely. Used to DJ back in high school. That's kind of how like I always had a love for music and I like that was like what I thought I should start at. So I was like, yo, let me just throw some parties and I was DJing.
What was your biggest event as a DJ? I'm curious to hear this.
Biggest event would have to be one that I threw. Like I threw like my mom happened to have like a sports bar for like a couple of years back then. So I had the venue. So I was just like, I just need a DJ. So I threw like this end of the year party where I kind of went to like every high school like that was around Palm Beach and kind of invited everybody. And it was just crazy. Like the first hour, it was just like like at capacity.
It just were you totally embracing because this is a huge movement with the whole Two Live crew that was going down there with Uncle Luke in Miami. Were you kind of a part of that and just showing love when you were DJing that way?
See, when I DJ'd, it was mostly like because of them, I was intimidated. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't like be like, yo, I'm trying to do this party. I focused on the markets that they weren't focused on. It was school. So I DJ'd all middle school events, all
Okay,
pep
yeah. So you had to
rallies.
keep it as clean as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that right. But it was lit. Like, I got mines. I definitely did what I had to.
Have you ran into Uncle Luke at all, being out there and just moving around the industry
Oh
in
yeah,
Florida?
no, definitely growing up, like I remember seeing Uncle Luke, I remember seeing Trick Daddy, like the whole I remember just watching them grow up and like actually like, yo, I want to be a part of that one day. So
And
definitely like
you built your own legacy, but an important event was the performance that you went to see Wiz Khalifa perform at. When he was at this concert, was it for Rolling Papers, ONIFC? What was this? What era of Wiz was
man,
this?
this oh yeah, you got you good. I got that was probably like my first concert, like where I was like, yo, I gotta get on the stage. And that's the transition from DJing to rapping where I was like, yo, nah. Like what? Wiz is on there doing that shit. I could do it. But it was Black and Yellow. I remember. I
Black and
think that was
Yellow.
his. It was that run, and it was a concert. I believe like Boca Raton, Florida, or Fort Lauderdale. It was over there somewhere. And I remember sneaking into it with my cousin because I don't even think I was of age. And like, yeah, I had to sneak in there. I had to sneak some bud in there, like at a Wiz concert. And that's like I can't wait to tell Wiz's story. He actually stopped, though he'll remember because he stopped the whole concert because someone told him that, yo, they're taking everybody's weed in the crowd, like they're not letting them smoke or at the door. And he literally was like, I'm not performing until you guys start passing everybody their weed back. Like it was
Wow.
crazy. He was like, yeah. So that was a moment I remember for sure.
It's like Woodstock, everyone getting all their water bottles and stuff they were bringing and taking away. We saw how that ended
Exactly.
up, right in flames, blowing up.
Exactly.
uh, but I heard about it, just your whole journey getting into music. But have cited in the past as your mother being the biggest inspiration and just why you do it. What was the blueprint that she set for you early on as a child for you to follow your dreams in music? Because I know you had a plan. Because growing up
Right.
in a Haitian household, you had to say that I want to go here to go to school. So
Yeah.
because that's a strict environment. So talk to me about the blueprint that your
Exactly.
mother sent.
See, my mom, like, that's why she's like my best friend to this day, is because she's super strict, but you just have to make it make sense. She's also logical. So it's like, yeah, I want you to do this, but if you can do this and make this make sense, then I'm not gonna turn it down. So she never was a mother like, nah, you like even with DJing, like she was like, all right, well, like this is not the type of parties I kind of want at my establishment, but if my son wants to do it and you're here, then why not? Like So it's like, so that's all that, like, she plays that major role. She always, like, just the number one supporter. Like, when anything you do, like, most moms should do that, but they kind of always turn it down. Like, they want you to do like this or that. But it just had to make sense.
And it did for you with the DJing and stuff. Were you DJing on CDJs, vinyls? What kind of DJ were you as far as the
It was
equipment wise?
crazy. It's crazy because DJing, like, really, like, I started in the air, like, to me, when I thought it was DJing, it's like I first downloaded virtual DJ, and then
Okay,
everybody was like, yo, download Serato. And I was like, all right,
Serato.
cool, download Serato. But I really was trying to, like, find out more information about it, really, because my stepdad was a DJ at the time, but he used the turntables.
The
Like, you got
vinyl, the
me? So
Techniques.
exactly. So he had a pair of those in the house, and I literally would just watch that. Like, he'll go, like, leave, and then I'll, like, go cut it on and try fucking with it. And one day he caught me, and it was just like, all right, teach me. Like, it was just like, all right, I'll show you. Because it was my stepdad, so I tried to play the tough role. Like, I don't really want to talk to you. Like, you just my mom's boyfriend type of thing. Type of thing. Like, honestly speaking, that's what it was. And then it was just like, when he walked in one day and I was just jamming, he was like, yeah, I'll show you. I was like, fuck it, let's go.
How much of an appreciation do you have for vinyls? Because when we look at it, you're coming up now and getting big through the digital age, and you understand what it was like before all that. So how much of appreciation do you have when you hold a piece of vinyl, or even like when you want to replicate something for yourself for one of your albums that you release? How much of an appreciation do you have for vinyl?
I appreciate it, but I appreciate vinyl a lot, but I also appreciate the new era, just because
Mhm.
you can hold so much music without the space. It's
Exactly.
like, so it's cool to have the classics, like, yo, but it's like, yo, like, if you want 10,000 records, do you want them, like, on a hard drive, or do you want them, like,
In a crate.
in your living room?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, we just gotta get with the times. Like,
Exactly. But when you first started, because I'm seeing a trend now with all the artists in the industry that they want to go out and get the deal, but now the tide is turning where you're just being independent because you were adamant about I have to get that deal, and you looked at it as that if things really blossomed out the way, it was just an exit.
right. Right. No, exactly. Like you just pretty much spoke it. It's like, first started doing music, I was just like, I want a deal. I want to post on it, Instagram, with the paperwork and the champagne. Like, oh man, I did everything I could do for this. Like, that's what I thought was making it. Like, you got me, until you're actually in these offices and you're like, yo, like, bro, this is just like another Instagram post. Like, to make it is to actually feel successful within everything you're doing, like, with yourself. It is, I mean, no accolades or anything can actually give you that. So when you actually, like, learn the process and fall in love with it, like, that's like the last thing that's, like, you're actually concerned with. You get me? Like, so I try to preach that to artists as well, because, like, I also, give my helping hand out and help artists as well, because it's like no one helped me. So,
No, that's why you say, I told you so.
and I told, Thanks, I told you so. I told you
You
so.
got to get some
And what
t-shirts
I
and
say?
merch because you got your No Investor clothing line. You got to get
Oh
some
yeah.
t-shirts that say this. I want one of those.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got you, man. Got you. Actually got a whole new drop coming out, a whole new no investor drop. I got some hats coming out, some new t-shirts with, like, catchy phrases on it. Like, it's going up. Like,
How about
trust me,
some jerseys? I'm a big jersey
I got
guy. You got some jerseys out there
I
too?
get you. I'll make you a custom pack.
Oh,
Don't you
that's
like jersey and
fire.
shorts? I
Yeah,
see you like the
jersey.
hats. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you, man.
jerseys and
Custom pack.
snapbacks.
Thanks. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
That's what you
a
say
big
less.
influence of
No
yours is
investor.
Fabulous too. I read about online, and he's top too. He's very underrated in my opinion. When you look at just the things that he was doing, not only in the hip hop sense and the way, just his flow and his style, you can see
Mhm.
how it inspired a lot of the artists today, especially like Drake. Drake's always paying homage to him, but even the clothing,
Exactly.
he's the king of jerseys in my opinion.
No, exactly. And it's crazy because I'm from South Florida. So whenever I told somebody that, like, who you like, who's your favorite Fab? Like, Fab. Like, what the hell? Like, they never understood it. They're like, yo, why not anybody from the crib? Like, you're wild. And it really was just because of, I like studied how he was always fashion, like, style, he was styled down, but it was always like how he was an underdog, but made himself relevant every season. It's like, it was never a season where I was like, where Fab wasn't relevant without being, in the tabloids and all the extra. So that's really why, like, I admire the overall, like, because a lot of other artists may be more talented, but it's like a lot of, shenanigans. Like, it's too much extra. I just like the, nonchalant vibe.
And he dominates that, and you see his impact to this day. Are you a person that prefers Fab's mixtapes or his albums? Which side are you on?
Uh, well, it'll be in the mixtape side
The
because
soul, the
that's
soul
where,
mixtapes.
yeah, that's when he really was giving it up how I needed to hear. Like he was like, he
Summer
was talking that
shootouts.
talk. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Def coming threes, like all
Yeah.
those, that was definitely my vibe.
That's your vibe right there. But someone that you would love to sit down and meet with, and just to pick his brain on, because you have the you relate with the hustle side of things, is Diddy, Puff Daddy. I still call him Puffy because I'm such a '90s guy. So
Right.
what would you ask him once you were able to sit down with him? If you have something right off the top of your head, what would you want to ask him?
To be honest, I'm the type to I found that I get the most results from not asking questions.
Mm,
To be honest, I'd rather just observe. It's because like I can ask you a question right now and then you give me an answer, but I understand the answer better by just seeing how you move.
how you
And
move?
that'll be most of my questions. It's like, yo, if it's I'm in this situation, da da da. And actually being around certain people they can show you that without like that's how I learn from a lot of my wins and losses, like from other people's mistakes or their success. Like honestly speaking. So like I'll just try to observe. I just want to like be a fly on the wall.
What's been the most important moment of you being a fly on the wall so far? Because we've seen it where you were in Boosie's house because he took you around. That gave you the motivation about what a young black person in America, how they can
Yeah.
achieve such success. So what was one of those other fly in the fly in the wall moments for you besides the Boosie story?
Mm. Oh man, it's been not to say so many, but it's like I cherish every moment, like because I know nothing's promised. But another one of the moments would be man, I would have to say watching watch a success story, watching Dusty Locane actually feel me, watching him get discovered, being there, watching him get signed, going from the tank top to we can go in the mall and buy what I want. And like,
Yeah.
that was like one of those like, yeah, no, I'm not doing the wrong thing here. Like this shit's possible. Like so definitely that would be like more like one of the funner things I could say. Besides all the other times I cherish when I meet like like people that you always looked up to. So it's like it's left or right with those moments. Like you know what I mean? It's like some people you like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I thought, and other people let you down.
Yeah, a
So
lot
I
of
would
your
say
idols
just
become your rivals in this industry. 100%.
right.
It's
Exactly.
unfortunate, but that's
Nah,
just
it's
life.
not exactly.
Draft
So
Day
yeah, now
Records, your own independent label too. You built that up yourself.
facts. DraftDayRecords is that actually started with me and my brother Hollywood Jazz. He's usually with me a lot of times to do it, and yeah, that's pretty much he's the founder of the Draft Day Records, and we just ran with it. I'm like, yo, like, hey, we could build it from the bottom up. Like, let's do it. So pretty much that's what we've been doing, and it's just us two right now. It's like we haven't signed any artists, but I am like working with producers.
That's big time. And you're also on the songwriting tip, as you mentioned Dusty Locane before. Timmy's another artist that you've done some
Mhm.
work with. With Dusty Locane, he's told you how to block out all the politics. In particular, what are those politics that you can clarify in which he's helped you? You
Well,
can block them out.
like I said, when you watch somebody actually start from like I guess when they make they release their first song to it's usually you got 50 people around you, like 50
Mhm.
maybe 100 people around you, like everyone's happy for you. Then you start to get some success, and then others may want your success just as much. So you watch people fall off. You watch some best friends disappear. You watch
Those 50
girlfriends
people
switch.
turn into people on one hand.
Absolutely. So I mean, like Dow say that's one of the biggest like hands-on because like we can say that we all know it. It's like everyone can't make it with you. But it's like when you have to get to that point where it's like you have to make that decision to better your career or your future. It's like, and sometimes maybe the people aren't wrong. Sometimes they are right. But it's just like your current situation calls for whatever you got to do. Like, so it's like watching that, like it's just learning the whole industry and it all is like it's just more than music. Like it's just more
It
than
is.
music.
It's deeper. It's real life. You've referenced it plenty of times in your music about being stabbed in the back hundreds of times, countless amounts of times. That's what comes with the game. How do you go about building relationships on the business side of thing and in your social life? Because you got to maintain kind of two lives in one person. Because you got the business side of things, then you
Yeah.
got the personal life as a normal human being. So how do you go about those two types of relationships?
Uh, I, I try thinking about it as trying to be like, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, is like as pure as possible. It's like I feel like if I don't like switch roles, I don't ever have to feel like I'm like, damn, I'm not being what they're used to. So it's like I try to give people me. It's like as blunt it is, as raw as it is, sometimes you're gonna be like, nah, I don't know who the fuck he like think he is, or sometimes you like it's just as me as possible. It's like I don't want like that's why I'm like a lot of people that I meet, it's like we build relationships, you'll be like, you'll think that like, yo, how long you known him? Or I can meet you today, and then somebody just might be like, yo, you guys knew each other? Like, no, it's just I just try to be as pure as possible and understand that like that's what's gonna dictate whether that person chooses to be do you wrong, do whatever it comes with it. It's just like I feel like it's off the energy that you give. Because if you're like, say if I come off as stagnant and like a little PTSD, like because I'm like I got fucked over too much, and you feel that energy, and you're like, well, he's a little off, like so you're not now you're on your toes, we're both on our toes, and nothing gets done because we're like, nah, I don't really know him. I don't really know son. So it's like really giving somebody me and like letting them choose, like, yo, if you want to fuck with me, fuck with me. If you don't, we're here. The show goes on. Peace and blessings. I'm double tapping your picture still. It's like it's all love, I promise. Like I don't have no time for the hate.
The show goes on.
Yeah, pretty
Just like
much.
Lupe Fiasco, it goes on,
Right.
it continues on from there, no matter what.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rotimi, you spoke about him before, about him being so humble, and that's rare to find in this industry because usually
Right.
everyone's all, especially in the clout chasing era, everyone's just all about their egos, and they really don't, they look at you, they look as they feel as though that you're under them. There's
Right.
no more unless you have a certain amount of followers. Your follower count has to match for people to be on the same levels nowadays. We know how it is, but Rotimi's someone that you just see that he just treats people equally, no matter how much the accolades he has. That's
Yeah,
amazing
correct.
to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's super humble. Like, because like I said, like it goes back to the last topic. It's like it's hard to trust. So a lot of people they don't want to come off as like arrogant or something, but they're like their safety's on the line, and it's a lot of other things comes with it. But like, Rotimi's real humble. He's the type of person that stop on the side of the street, like have a conversation with you. And you don't really get that too much out of like people that's on both sides, like acting, music. He has so much things he's got going on. Like you'll be shocked. Like he got
Yeah.
so much shit going on.
Houdini, legendary hip hop trio, iconic
Mm-hmm.
as it is. You paid homage with Friends, as Nas did back in the day with "If I Ruled the World" on "It Was Written."
Exactly.
You did that in your own way. When we look at these have these legends reached out to you? Because I know that one of the members passed away last year, unfortunately. But did
Mm.
they get a chance? You know if any of the members of Houdini
Nah,
reached out to you?
I haven't spoke to them, but it's crazy because when I did drop that, it did get a lot of like feedback, a lot of
Yeah,
publicity and stuff. But nah, no one's that I know of. At least it hasn't gotten to me.
yeah, that would be
But yeah,
interesting.
that
Oh,
was but
continue.
that was a dope. That was another dope moment. Like that was just like on being in the studio, like yo, let's flip some old shit, and
Yeah.
the engineer pulled that up, and I was like, oh, let's go.
Do you feel as though
It's,
the 80s doesn't get enough love in hip hop? Because we always go back to the 90s, the early 2000s. Do you feel as though the 80s is underrated? Because you have some big time records that came out of there with LL Cool J,
yeah,
Kumo D, that whole Public Enemy. It's underrated.
yeah. I think it does, but I think it's because the generations, the times. It's like you have to understand like the generation that would be on the 80s, we would have to be kind of like a 90s baby,
Yeah.
per se, like early 90s, not even late 90s. It would have to be like an early 90s to really appreciate that. And you don't have too many like, artists that's like was born in the early 90s in the league. You know what I mean?
No, it would be nice to see some of the young, because I know a lot of the younger hip hop artists, and I do get angry about it because when they're on there and they say, "Well, who's this? Who's that?" People
Yeah.
should be knowing who Method Man is. People should be knowing who Big Daddy Kane is. This is your genre. This is
But I was saying that's the gap that like I just told you. Most artists they're either born in the 2000s or 98,
yeah,
99, 2000s. And then everybody else is like 70s and 60s.
yeah.
Like 70s, 60s and like maybe a few 80s. There's no 90 like tell me someone that's like 1994 that's like really dominating shit right now. It's like
It's tough. Yeah,
it's
no.
tough right now. It's tough.
It's tough to find that out. I want to get into your new single "Bad Bitches," available on all platforms. You should go download it, go check
Go
out the
get
video.
that. Go get that for sure.
Was there, because I kind of got a new age ice cream Raekwon feel with watching it, that you kind of flipped it in your own way. Did that ever come into your
Okay.
mind at all?
Nah, that's the first time I'm hearing that one. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. That's the first time. I've heard so many like opinionated like questions, like things on that. Like some people's like this, that. They're like, everybody has like, it brings something out of. That's why I like. I'm happy that it actually pulls. I feel like that's what a good record is. That it pulls so many different ideas from everybody that listens to it. Like, oh, remind me of this. Made me think about this. Like, that's a good record.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you've been on the run. Are you currently looking to, because I Told You So came out last year. So are you looking
Right.
now to release a part two? What are you looking forward towards 2023
Um,
is the release for you?
right now I'm like kind of on my like single wave,
Yeah, I
like building
noticed
up
that.
vid.
I've made sure to promote all your new singles. I've checked them all
Yeah,
out.
like on doing like just trying to really build up like my visual. Like I have a lot of visual content, building up like the audience for that, and like really just making sure like people are appreciating these records because like you said, if you go back and listen to I Told You So, it's like it's so much on there that like like story that still has to be broken down even more. Like I don't want to lose my hunger. I don't want to lose like the stories of talking about all this other like things now. Like so that's really where I'm at now. It's like you'll get a lot of records from that I still haven't put out that still has all that hunger. You know what? Like shit that we want to hear.
Something I admire about you is that you'll admit that once you receive a no, because everyone receives no in this industry, that's how you thrive. If you're weak, you crumble and you go away, and that's the end of you. You're in the
Exactly.
grave.
Right.
What's the most, what would you say, important no that made you go harder, that you feel comfortable with speaking about?
The most important no. Um. Well, you gotta understand. A lot of people like I don't want to call nobody like I don't call nobody else out their names or anything. But like most people, they won't tell you no to your face. Like they'll find another way to make it sound better. Like
Yeah, they'll
so
lie. They'll be
I
like, "Oh,
yeah
well, yeah, I know exactly." They'll
right
masquerade it. They'll act like
yeah exactly.
they'll give
So
you a BS excuse.
right. So it's like I think it's like realizing that factor, like not letting nobody have an excuse to give you. It's like that's kind of my motto. It's like before I like it's hard for me to ask anyone for anything, but before I ask somebody for something, I kind of put them in a position to where they can't say no. It's not like I got like I'm
You're in the checkmate
handing you up
position.
like right, like I'm just it's like I just learned like yo, I got to be 3 steps ahead. So then when I do pull that card, it's like all right, let me see how I can make this happen because I can't tell them no. Like just because it's so much, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I feel like that's the best part of mastering relationships, life, because everybody feels like they're being used. Everybody feels like they had to do more, like a lot of work to be in the position they're in, like which I respect. So it's like everyone feels like it should be like, easy, like, oh, why they had it hard, so they should feel that I had it hard. Like, and everyone has an agenda and a job at the end of the day. So I never respect no one's like decisions. I just know like, okay, I could move, just move my pieces around the board differently. That's all I like. That's what hearing no did for me, at least.
Yeah, and that this is how you be successful, because you keep on going, and you've even spoken about in some of your songs where the accusations don't bother me because people try to bring you down when you're
Right.
successful. People try to throw some BS at you. That's why when you
Yeah.
see certain things in the industry, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Especially when you're part of it, you have to take it with a grain of salt. When someone says that, oh well, this one uses a ghostwriter, that's probably someone hating, and people are
Mhm.
just getting on the bandwagon. It's like you got to take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah. And then you start to realize like with just the example you used, the ghostwriting example, a lot of people don't know how music is made. And when you understand that, it kind of shades a lot of the comments out. Some people don't know that the engineers could be different from the producer. They thought producers might be the same as the engine. Like a lot of people don't know how music is made. So it's like to even talk about writing or ghostwriter, like you don't even know the process of music. So it's like you just think that someone goes in there and raps for 3 minutes and then they put it out.
Yeah.
Like so it doesn't go like that. So once you understand, like I feel like well that's what helps me. So I feel like other artists should think about that as well. Like you have to know people don't know how music is Like they don't know how it's put together. So it's like that's our talent.
Yeah.
So understand that they don't understand, and we'll continue to give them music that they like.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you're doing here because you're on your single wave right now. What's going to be the single for the summer that you have?
We definitely pushing bad bitches throughout the summer, but I definitely have a follow up that's crazy. That's just gonna be like the same. It's kind of like the same, but it's more like dance. Like we're gonna get out our chairs on this summer. We definitely vibing.
I could tell
Well,
you're on your
no
single.
standing on the wall. No standing on the walls this summer.
No, you're in your bag.
No, for sure, man. I'm just having fun. Like it's like it's like so many like I've been doing music for almost 7, 8. It feels like forever now, but like year after year it was just like trying to figure out what's next, trying to figure out why this isn't working. And it got to the point where it's like people ask me what's next. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And I don't really care. Like I don't know. Like we'll get there when we get there. Like I'm just so happy with right now to the point where it's like just embracing like, yo, like you're making it happen.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that that's what people have to like fall in love with the now moment, whether it's good or bad. Like some people are like, okay, maybe now because no, like it's not all peaches and cream, but I'm in love with now because I know what's coming tomorrow. Like,
Yeah. It's not a race; it's a marathon. You said you've quoted the late great Nipsey Hussle before, and that's what comes with the game, man.
mm-hmm.
What would you say was the
RP,
accolade? Because we talked about the major thing before, wanting that post, the champagne and all the stuff that comes with that, and then eventually you either have success or they block out your creativity and they try to drown you out. What would you say was the moment for you that this is bigger than if I sign to a major label? What was that moment for you?
that moment was realizing that I can play different positions without like claiming one. Like it's like I see a lot of artists like that
Like
are
sending the
some
beats,
artists,
like beats can be used for different artists and playing that
right?
position.
Like playing it's just so many positions to the point where it's like if I commit to this, like when I say this, are you gonna think about me differently? Are you gonna like not take it as seriously because he's like a rapper turned uh executive producer now? Like, you know what I mean? It's like I just figured I'm like, yo, I could play so many positions while just building my brand and my name. That just sounds way better. I don't know. I don't really need more explanations to that.
Yeah.
It just sounds it just sounds better in my head. I'm like, I could just lie or me doing one thing just doesn't make sense to me because it's like I have so much to give. It's like I can't just sit there and like that's why I said like even with me helping other artists out, it's like that's just not me like trying to get bread or extra. No, it's me like yo, like somebody needs to like yo, you don't know that? Like here goes some game. Like I think that like I'm a big believer in karma, so it's just like the more ways I can put out good musical energy, like because it's not everything you do in life. So I feel like I gotta do good and put good, you know what I mean? Good music karma out. So yo, let me put you on some game. Let me tell you what to avoid. Let me put you on with this producer that doesn't really talk to people, but he might have some song beats that I know you need. It's like, yo, it's one phone call could change someone's life. And when you realize that, it's like you can't be stingy with like your contacts, anything in life. Like
No.
give. That's just how my mother raised me. Like all she did was give. And I'm happy that, it rubbed off on me.
And good for you. She definitely raised you the right way, and we see how much you've blossomed off of it, especially with your
Right.
own independent grind, because that's the wave right now in the industry,
Mhm.
going independent.
Independent,
Not some
exactly.
people are
And
still looking for majors, but people are building it up themselves.
right. And no, I have no problem with the major. I just understand the major is a corporation, it's a business. So it's all about how we can benefit. So it's like the day or the time where we sit down to do that, it would have to make sense. Like, so I know I have to build my leverage up because I need partnership off for it. I'm like, that's just the only compensation I want to have. Like,
Yep. And we know who's in the corporations, these white collar,
yeah.
you
I
know.
need partnership. I need my mom's coming in there like Jordan mom. Like she's you don't want to get on the phone with Miriam, all right? Like she's gonna get that deal done.
Yeah.
Like exactly.
uh,
We partnerships.
Is there, because I know you said you don't have any artists signed right now, the draft day, but is there a few artists that you're looking at right now that you're currently in contact with that you think are going to be making some big movements out here that you would consider signing?
Yeah, definitely. The problem, not I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just I'm really into like the mentorship and like teaching. So it's like not to shy away from like contracts and signing somebody. I just want them to know their worth. So when they do sign, it's not like because I'm pretty sure you've been in the music world. You have friends that have signed, have invested in artists. They've done this, that, and then nothing. Like or an artist feels like like
I've
we
seen
if you're
it.
in the
I've
music,
seen it.
right? So I really just like helping artists to the point where like they're actually on their feet and the decisions they make is not from a I'm trying to keep my lights on today. You know what I mean? Because we've all been there, and I know like I probably would have been in a effed up situation if that situation were to come to me at that time. Like you know what I mean? Because like every day is different, and we do have to survive. So I just really like want to build with artists and show them the different routes and avenues they could take because that it'll come back. Like I'm a true believer in it'll come back. Like they'll remember because I remember every single person that whether it was a simple comment or just a listen, I remember everything. Like I
Yeah.
don't forget it. So I know people don't either. Even when they try to act like they do, it's just they don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's what the game is now, man. It's what I did
Yeah.
want to know. Tell me the history behind your name, Dope Truth.
Okay, well this will be funny because you probably are familiar with this. It used to be a mixtape website me and my cousin had out back in the day called DopeHood.com.
Okay.
It was where it was kind of like live mixtapes. You could get like all the new music. Of course, we had albums on there too. It was before the whole copyright thing,
Okay.
copyright days.
It was like a Dat
So
Piff or Spinrilla.
exactly. So it kind of we started around the same time as World Star. Like RPQ, we used to do cross promo. We used to have them like Dope Put as the whole banner. Would have World Star as our banner, and I used to have heavy traffic through there to the point where like we were getting lawsuits like in the email like yo take this album down, take this album down, or take this to the point where like we even got creative, moved the server to like overseas like all that. But the name of the website was dopehood.com. It's still live and running to this day, but we keep it clean. It's really mixtapes and songs that we're allowed to give the world. But I just took that name. I just took the dope off that name, and then everyone always was already calling me Truth. I was like, yo, Dope Truth. Let's run with it.
And
Like,
it's clicked and
so
it's
that was
marketable.
there you go.
No
And then it
Investor
just
started on the lighters and the CDs. So you have the mixtapes
right.
right there.
Yeah.
You like the CD era and it worked with the
Um,
merchandise.
Right. It was and to be honest, like No Investor was always on the lighters, but I would just write it like regular letters, like bold letters. No, I didn't have like a logo to it until Drake dropped. If you're reading this,
It's
it's
too
too
late.
late. I think it was like the crooked letters or
Hmm.
something like that. So I did those on like a hat, and then that's when everybody was like, "Oh, this shit's kind of crazy." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Yo, let me amp it up a little bit." Switch it up, switch the logo up, and me and my boy, shout out, I always want to give him credit. His name's Paintboy Gav. He helped me with the whole creative, like the logo with No Investor, and we've been running with it ever since. We got a whole new drop about to come out. It's crazy.
We already know it. No Investor. Still no Investor. What's the third one to follow up with that? And
Right.
still no Investor.
Right, exactly. It's like that's always been the question. And to be honest, I didn't say this earlier, but with my albums and EPs, I'd never like force a name. It's like I don't drop a project until I have a name. If a name doesn't come to my mind or a mindset, I won't. That's why I'll be in single mode. Like a lot of people, that's like a little hack to me. So any project I have out, it was like I told you so. Like that was the mode I was in. Like before that, it was what was like so many. It was like you said, still no investor started off. Then it was still no investor. It's just like from all my projects is literally like have songs, and then I'll be like, yo, I know what I'm naming it, and then we'll start. Then I'm in album mode
Yeah.
once I got the name. So that's a good question. Like, what's the next sequel? It's like, because I already told you, so you know, but yeah, that's definitely in thought right now.
Dope Truth, man. I appreciate you for coming on the show here today. Is there anything else you want to let the people know that we didn't address here yet?
Um, Now I think we kind of covered a lot of the backstory. I don't get to talk about a lot. A lot of people, there's a lot of stuff you reminded me about some shit, so I definitely want to give you credit for that. And no, just keep rocking with me. Dope Truth on all platforms. Follow me back. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. Tell me watch this interview. I'll definitely follow back and keep it moving.
Keep it moving, man. Dope Truth available on all platforms. Bad Bitch is a new single. I Told You So. Go check out that album. Great quality right there. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Dope Truth. Shout out to Al Nice for connecting us, man. And
Big
you're always
nice.
welcome on the show. Anytime you have anything that you want to promote, you got an upcoming album, you always have a spot here.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And definitely, I do want your info so I can get you, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
We locked in.
The jerseys. I need a jersey.
I got you. We're locked in. We're locked in. I need to see you repping.
Yeah, it's got to be baggy. None of this tight crap. It's got to be baggy.
I got you. It's summertime, man. I'm gonna have you right. You outside.
Oh man, you already know. Shout out to you, Dope Truth, and everything that you're doing, man. I look forward to seeing you, growing even more from here and all the big things you achieve next.
I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate you. Keep turning up whatever you got, whatever you need from me, promote it. Regardless, tap in. It's nothing. We locked in.
You already know, man. Take care. Stay safe out there, man. Until the next time. Enjoy your night, all right?
Boom.
Peace out, man.